The players on stage and 4,000 gave him a rapturous round of applause as the picture of Jocky appeared on the giant screens. The great Jocky Wilson, who died this week. Joining me now, Phil Taylor and Rod Harrington. Phil, it was a special moment earlier on, wasn't it? The minute's applause lasted 2.5 minutes.
It did, and it deserves 5 minutes, Jocky does. Love him, always will. And I was dead pleased tonight. Malvina, his wife, she'll be absolutely heartbroken, of course she will. But she'll look at this tonight and she'll be over the moon. And so will his sons as well, John and the other lad.
Do you remember the first time you met Jocky and what you thought at the time?
I've had so many memories about Jocky. Can you remember the first time when I first met him? It was probably in the county, when I played county. And he was such a big, massive figure. Along with Eric Bristow, John Lowe, Cliff Lazarenko, you know, Alan Evans and Leighton Rees. They were big icons for us. Yeah, and I can remember, because he always had this massive smile. What seemed to go
toothy smile, gummy smile.
Yeah, but his smile went from ear to ear.
Yeah.
You know, and he was always there. He was always there to give you a little bit of advice, even though he's playing against you. He'd still help you out.
Was he an intimidating presence when you first started playing?
Only intimidating. He was never intimidating way to try and psych you out. Not like Eric Bristow or Alan Evans. It was more of an intimidation because you never knew what he was going to do. Jocky was a 140, 180, 26, 45, 180 out, and that was Jocky. So you never knew. A bit like this fella, actually. He was a bit like that, but he just never knew what he was going to do.
He played in a great era of darts as well, didn't he? The likes of Lowe and Bristow, pushing the ball away.
I am more thankful to people like Jocky Wilson, Eric, John Lowe, Cliff Lazarenko, you name them, Alan Evans, all of them, because without them, I wouldn't be standing here with this fella, with yourself now. They were the ones what started this. They were the pioneers of the game.
Roddy was a larger-than-life character on and off the hockey. You got any special memories?
Well, there's one, Dave. I mean, it was a bit drink-related, but there was him and Peter Everson in a place called Lotham. We were playing a tournament which was about an hour and a half outside Vegas, and they got up early one morning to go down and prepare, and they were drinking Long Island iced teas, but they didn't realise that a Long Island iced tea has 5 shots in it. Well, by the time I got down there, as he come on, one of them went to get off the stool and fell on the floor. The other one tried to help him out, and there's Peter Everson and Jocky on the floor, and me and Bob Anderson were just crying with laughter. But that was Jocky. I mean, he was just such a character.
We've got some
Jocky said he was teetotal. Now I understand what he means.
We've got some footage of you and the world pairs in air. You alongside Jocky. Does this bring back a lot of memories for you?
Yes. I can remember playing him in Everton, actually, when Jocky went out in a 170. The fella was... Oh, look at me. Look at him. Go on, fella.
What's it like seeing this again?
It's great, because I loved him, and he was one of them characters again who loved winning, loved being a part, loved life.
He will go down as one of the greats, being a 2-time world champion and epic finals as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I'll remember of Jocky more than anything, some of his battles against Eric. I mean, off the hockey, they were pretty good friends, but on the hockey, they were absolute enemies. I mean, when they played in Scotland, I remember Eric saying that Jocky kicked him in the shins before he walked on the stage, and Eric had blood coming from his shins. But he was such a brilliant dart player that, you remember him for that.
Do you know what I'm surprised about? Half of these people in the crowd here have never seen Jocky Wilson play. And they all know who he is. He's a Robbie Williams, he's a Frank Sinatra, he's an Engelbert Humperdinck, you know what I mean? They all know who he is, even though half of them never even watched him play.
I tell you what, he had some nice words to say about you after that tournament today.
Today, this man, Phil, he's encouraged me all morning, all afternoon. I've been with him all day. And then I came into the venue tonight. Then, guess who else gave me great support? Eric Bristow, and I'm really, really proud. I know Eric a lot longer than I've known Phil, but Eric, if you're listening, thanks very much, mate. But see this lad, Jeff, he is the world's #1, and I'll tell you. Isn't that right, my duck?
Saying you were the #1 at the time. And
I've got a bit of a tear in my eye now. Oh, he was right though, wasn't he?
You played him on a few occasions as well, Rod. We saw some footage of you earlier on. What was it like to face the man, the legend, and that bizarre throwing action?
I think that was it more than anything, Dave. You stand behind Jocky and he's lurching and he's thrusting his dart, and then you put your head aside of his head to see the dartboard, and you can see the darts in the treble, you see it in the double, and you're thinking, I can't believe he keeps doing it. But he did, and he kept doing it. And I think that was more the intimidating thing of Jocky when I played him.
Who was that?
This was 1995, Phil, the World Match Play. It's in colour, just
mate.
about.
There you go.
What about that throwing action?
You've just seen one of the biggest snatches ever, and he's going to hit 140. And now look at that, miles away. That just shows you.
I know, Rod. I'm still doing it.
Rod, what do you remember from that night? Because he gave you a pasting, didn't he?
He did give me a pasting, yeah. I mean, I think that year I was pretty well on form, doing well. And I just walked into Jocky that night and he just battered me. And sometimes, in them days, in my game, if I got battered, I just hands up Cadbury's and move on to the next one.
Will we ever see that sort of player come through again?
Are you ever going to see a character like Jocky with no teeth? Never in a million years are you ever going to be. And now you're looking at a friend there what's died, and I've been his friend for 25 years. Eric Bristow probably 35 years, but we still smile because we celebrate Jocky's life. Me personally, he's only won 2 World Championships. I think he could have won more, personally. John Lowe might disagree with you, Eric Bristow might disagree because they say, no, I should have won more, whatever. And it was a great battle in them days, you know, it still is, still the same, but you haven't got the character anymore. It's very, very serious now. I mean, the money in the game is massive, everything else is massive, but Jocky never really played darts for money. He enjoyed it.
What will your abiding memory be of Jocky Wilson, Rod?
Do you know what, Dave? I see him in here in the early days when I started playing. I went and see him in an exhibition. He did a 19 dart 1001. Wow. I've never seen that before, and this guy on the top of his form is going to have a job to do it. That was incredible. I think that and just his raw talent that doesn't come along in any sport very often. You know, and Phil said he should have won more World Championships. Sometimes them guys don't win them because of that raw talent. They don't know how to bottle it like Phil knows how to bottle his talent. And I think that them people make the game more exciting than other players, and that's what makes the whole game.
And Phil, the reception he got tonight is measure of the man, and what a legend he was.
He was a fantastic, but you know one legend who stood by his side through thick and thin, and I mean this most sincerely because I was a big friend of Jocky's, his wife Malvina. I remember saying to Malvina, they had a big massive bungalow in the northeast. It was a dream house really, and everything went a little bit wrong for him, you know, Jocky at bad times, and Malvina went back to Scotland, and I said, you bothered? And she went, Phil, I would live in a caravan for that fella.
Lovely. Jocky Wilson, who died this week. Lovely words from Phil Taylor.